Good morning, grade 10s. Hope you guys are all doing well, keeping healthy, keeping safe, and keeping up to date with your work. You will be happy to hear that today will be the last lesson we do of functions. Your teachers will tell you a little bit more, but on Monday you are going to receive an assignment on functions. You are going to have the week to do it, and you are going to need to submit it on Friday. During the week you will not be getting any new work, so you will have the whole week to get your assignment done. And then the Monday after that, on the 26th of June, we are going to start with trig graphs. So I hope that you guys are keeping up to date with this work, that you know what you're doing, that you're studying your functions, and we will see when we get the assignments back next week Friday. Okay, so for today we're going to do our last lesson of graph interpretation, and there's no really new notes or anything. I'm just going to do 2 examples from the textbook with you, which will actually be part of your homework, and then you will do the rest of the activity on your own. Just a few very important things to remember. To find the y-intercept, you would need to make x equal to 0. To find the x-intercept, you will need to make y equal to 0. For a linear and quadratic function, the q value is the y-intercept. For a hyperbola and exponential function, the horizontal asymptote is the q value. Then if one part of a coordinate is given and you want to find the other part, you would substitute the one part into the formula, into the equation for your graph, and you would then, once you've substituted, you would find the other value. So whether they give you the x, then you need to find the y, or they give you the y and you need to find the x. Either way, you would substitute the one in to find the other. And then the last thing, very important to remember, that a line segment cannot be negative. So if they ask you for the length of a line or the distance of a line, your answer must be a positive value. It cannot be negative. The first example I'm going to do with you is from your textbook. It's question 1 from the challenges. So you'll see they've given you 2 straight lines. The first one is y is equal to x minus 6, and the second one is y is equal to 2x plus 8. And what they've asked you to do is to work out the length of OA and OB and the length of OC and OD. So what we are going to do is we are going to work out the x and the y intercepts for both of those straight lines. I'm going to move over to a video and do it with you. Alright, so in the first one, it tells you in the diagram the graph f, so this one here, is equal to y is equal to x minus 6. And they tell you that this graph g is equal to y is equal to 2x plus 8. So the first thing that they're asking us to do is to work out the length of OA and OB. So they're asking for this here, OA, and that OB. So what you would notice is that we actually have to work out the value of A and the value of B. And you will see that A is your y-intercept and B is your x-intercept. So what they're actually asking is that we work out the intercepts of our graph. So we're going to start with f. So for graph f, y is equal to x minus 6. I want to work out my y-intercept. So I make x equal to 0. So I say y is equal to 0 minus 6. So therefore y is equal to 6. So the coordinates of A would be, the x is 0 and the y is 6. Then to find my x-intercept, I make y equal to 0. So I say 0 is equal to x minus 6. I want x on its own, so this minus 6 I add to both sides, and I get 6 is equal to x. So the coordinate, the x value is 6 and the y value is 0. Now the question is asking me for the length of OA. So OA, this point A here, we said was the y-intercept, which is 0 and 6. So that point there is 6. So from 0 or O to negative 6, you'll see it should be negative 6, sorry. Is that right? Yeah, that's negative 6, my bad. So that should be negative 6 there. So that's negative 6. So how many units does it go from there y 0, there y is negative 6. So it goes down 6 units. Now remember I told you that length or distance can never be negative. So therefore you would say that OA is 6 units. So the length from O to A is 6 units, but the point A is negative 6. But distance can never be negative. And then for OB, same thing, they want the length of that line. We know that point B is 6 and 0. So at this point there, that is 6. X is 6. And X is 0 there. So what we're going to do is we're basically saying 6 minus 0 gives you the length there of 6 units. So OB is also equal to 6 units. All right. Then B is asking for the length of OC and OD. So once again, C is the y-intercept and D is the x-intercept. So we're going to do the same thing, just with a different equation. So the equation y is equal to 2x plus 8. To find the y-intercept, we make x equal to 0. So I'm going to say y is equal to 2 times 0 plus 8. So therefore y is equal to 8. So that coordinate, the x value is 0, the y value is 8. And then to find the x-intercept, we're going to make y equal to 0. So we're going to say 0 is equal to 2x plus 8. The 8 is we're going to subtract from both sides, so we get negative 8 is equal to 2x. We want x on its own, so we divide by 2 on both sides. And we get x is equal to negative 4. So the coordinate would be negative 4 and 0. So now if we go back to this, the c value was 0 and 8. So that means that y-intercept there is at 8. And the d value is negative 4 and 0. So that means that d is negative 4. So now when they're asking for the length of OC, if that point is 8 on the y-intercept, how many units to get from 0 to 8 is 8 units long. And then for OD, if that's negative 4, from O to D, how many units is it? It's 4 units. I know that point is negative 4, but remember distance is not negative, so it represents 4 units. So OD is 4 units. Okay, so please just make sure you understand how the units work if it is a negative number. The second example I'm going to do with you is going to teach you how to substitute in a coordinate if only one half of the coordinate is given, so that you can find the other part of the coordinate. So you will see that a straight line is given, and the equation of the straight line is y is equal to x plus 5. And then there are 4 questions there where they're asking you, the way they ask it might be a bit confusing, but I'm going to move over to a video and I'm going to do that with you. Right, moving on to question 3. It says the equation of the line of f is given by f of x is equal to x plus 5. So it actually means the equation is y is equal to x plus 5 of the line. And they've asked us to work out 4 different things. So the first one, it says work out the length of AB. So AB is there if OB is 2 units. So what we need is the coordinate of B. So you can see that B, they tell you OB is 2, so B would, the x value would be 2, our value would be not 0. Okay, because it sits on the x-axis. So the coordinate for B would be 2 and 0. Now if we look at the coordinate for A, would you agree with me that this point A is in line with B? So the x value stays the same. The x value is 2. And the y value would actually determine the length of that line. So we are trying to find the y value. So we have a coordinate where the x is 2 and we want to find the y. So, like I said earlier, when they've given you half the coordinate, you're going to substitute the 1/2 in to find the other half. So we've got the equation y is equal to x plus 5, and we are substituting the coordinate 2 and y in. So in place of an x, I'm going to put 2, and in place of y, I'm going to leave it as y, because that's what I'm trying to find. So y is equal to, instead of x, it's 2 plus 5, y is equal to 2 plus 5 is 7. So the y value would be 7. So that would be 7, which means that the length of this side here would be 7 units. So then you can say, therefore, AB is 7 units. Alright, moving on to number B. They've asked you to calculate DC. So DC, if OD is 7 units, so OD is 7 units, which means the X value for D is 7, and the Y value must be 0 because it sits on the X axis. So now if we go to point C, do you agree with me the X value would be the same? So you've got 7, and you want to know what the Y value is, because once you know what the Y value is, you will know the length of DC. So we're going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to say y is equal to x plus 5. It's still the same equation. We've got the coordinates 7 and y. We're going to replace the x with a 7. So we're going to say y is equal to 7 plus 5. Is that right? 7 units is DO is OD, work out DC, so OD is 7, so the X value is 7, the Y value is what we're trying to work out. So I've got the X value is 7, so I've got Y is equal to 12. So the Y value there would be equal to 12, which doesn't make sense. Oh, okay, sorry, I'm being blonde. Just forget about that. Something very important that I missed. This is going to be -7. It's still 7 units in length, but it's -7 because it falls on the negative side of my x-axis. Sorry about that. Having a blonde moment. So I say y is equal to x plus 5. I'm substituting the coordinate in -7 and y. So just to recap why it's -7, because it's on the negative side of the x-axis, and it's still 7 units long, but it would be -7. The x value would be -7. So I'm going to substitute the -7 in, -7 plus 5. So I get y is equal to -7 plus 5 gives me -2. So this value here is going to be 7 and -2, but, so my x is -7, my y is -2, but now if I want to know what the length of DC is, you can see that this over there would be -2, which means that's 2 units long. Don't let it confuse you because of the negative. Remember, distance can't be negative, so DC would be 2 units. Alright. Moving on to number C. They're asking for the length of OF. So OF is there if EF is 3 units long. So EF is 3 units long. So if I have the coordinate of F, would you agree with me that I'm trying to find the coordinate of F, but for the point E, they tell me that EF is 3 units. So my coordinate for point E is going to be the X value, which I'm still trying to find. I don't know it yet, but the Y value is 3 units because they tell me that EF is 3. So that is 3 units long there. which means the y value is 3. So I've got the coordinates x and 3. That's the coordinates of E. And if I know what that x, if I can work out that x value, then I can know what the length of OF is, because the x value will be the same for F and for E. So this is number C. I'm going to substitute it in. Y is equal to x plus 5. My x value is unknown, it's what I'm trying to find, but my y value is 3. Sorry, you can't see that there. So my x value, I've got the coordinate x and 3. I'm substituting in the 3 for y, so it's going to be 3 is equal to x plus 5. I want to work out x on its own, so x is going to be equal to 3 minus 5, which is negative 2. So now if we look back at our diagram, x is negative 2. Does it fall on the negative side? Yes, it does. So point F would then be, I'm going to write it here, point F would be negative 2 on the x and 0 on the y. But they've asked for the length of OF, which is 2 units. Remember, distance can't be negative. So you would then say for number C that OF is equal to 2 units. Okay, I hope that makes sense to you guys. My apologies about number B. Just don't forget that you need to look at which side of the x and y axis it falls in to see if your coordinate is negative or positive. So don't make silly mistakes like me. Right, grade 10s, I hope those 2 examples helped you. If you do get stuck or there's something you don't understand, please make contact with your teacher. You guys have been very quiet, so please make contact so that we can help you where we can. Moving on will be your homework. So it says there, page 179 to 180. The exercise is called Some Challenges. You'll see there are 6 questions, but please note I've already done number 1 and number 3 with you. So you would just need to copy those in your book and then do the other 4. Also, please remember that on Monday we will be giving you an assignment. You will have the whole week to do it. So you will have Monday to Friday to do it, and Friday you need to submit it. So please make sure that all of your work on functions is up to date before Monday, so that next week you can just focus on your assignment. Alright, grade 10s, please, if you need help, if you're stuck, please speak to your teacher and make contact with us so we can help you. I hope you all have a great weekend, and I'll chat to you on Monday.